Previous video I covered covering questions 1 through 11. For this video, I'll be covering questions 12 through 17. For number 12, 4a plus 8 minus the quantity of 2a minus 2 is equal to 12. There are parentheses to work with, so when it comes to parentheses, the best thing to do is to distribute what you have on the outside and distribute that to the inside. Negative of 2a is negative 2a. Negative of negative 2 is positive 2. The fact that 4a plus 8 doesn't have any coefficients in front of the parentheses, I can drop out the parentheses. So that's 4a plus 8. Now from here, I can combine like terms. You have 4a minus 2a, so that's 2a. 8 plus 2 is plus 10. Now this looks quite similar as a multi-step equation. When it comes to multi-step equations, it's best to work on opposites until you get the variable by itself. So I'm going to subtract 10 to both sides. And we have 2a is equal to 2. 2 times a, the opposite of multiplication is division, so I'm going to divide 2 to both sides. 2 divided by 2 is 1. If you plug 1 back into a for the original equation, you'll find out that the left side will equate to the right side. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 plus 8 is 12. So 12 is a result of plugging 1 in for a. I'm going to put the minus sign. And now we can work on the second parentheses. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. And rewrite the equals 12. 12 minus 0 is 12. And 12 is indeed equal to 12. So therefore, a equals 1 is the correct answer. Question 13. Working with the rules of exponents, the power of 2 tells you you're going to duplicate the x plus 3 twice. X plus 3, x plus 3. I'm going to focus on the yellow polynomial first. I'm going to FOIL. X times x, x squared. X times 3 is plus 3x. Now, for the second term, the plus 3. 3 times x, 3x, and 3 times 3 is plus 9. I can combine like terms. 3x plus 3x is 6x, and I'm going to drag everything else down. Now that the left side is simplified out, I'm going to FOIL the x minus 5 twice. So the power of 2 tells us we're going to duplicate the x minus 5 twice. X minus 5, x minus 5. And then from here, FOIL. X times x, x to the second, x times negative 5, negative 5x. Now we can work on the second term of the first parentheses. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And negative 5 times negative 5 is plus 25. Combined like terms, negative 5x minus 5x is negative 10x. And we can drag everything else down. Now, when it comes to algebra, you want to solve for a single variable by putting the variable on one side and everything else on the other side. So I'm going to subtract, I can subtract x to the second from the right to the left. X squared minus x squared cancels out. And we have 6x plus 9 is equal to negative 10x plus 25. I'm going to add 10x to both sides. Cancels. 6x plus 10x is 16x. Subtract 9 to both sides. We're left with 16x is equal to 16, the result of 25 minus 9. And from here, 16 times x, the opposite of multiplication is division. And by doing so, 16 divided by 16 is 1. And you can confirm that this works. Plug 1 in for x for both of these two, and you'll see that they both will have the same value. 1 plus 3 is 4, and 4 to the second power is 16. On the right side, 1, replace 1 in for x, 1 minus 5 is negative 4. Negative 4 to the second power is 16, and 16 is indeed equal to 16. Question 14. B plus 7, the absolute value, is less than 5. Now, when it comes to organization of inequalities of absolute values, it's best to keep two separate problems as one single problem, so that's easy for you to organize where to graph the points. I'm going to rewrite the original, b plus 7. And when I do that, I need to also re-include the negative side of the b plus 7 is less than or equal to 5. So keep the signs the same, and the negative of 5 is negative 5. From here, we want to isolate so that b is by itself, and everything else is pushed to both sides. B plus 7, the opposite of positive, is negative. So I'm going to subtract negative 7 to both sides. And when I say both sides, I'm mentioning that both sides is to the right and left side. So I'm going to subtract the 7. And on the right side, 5 minus 7 is negative 2. On the left side, negative 5 minus 7 is negative 12. So this is technically your answer. When you graph this on the number line, b should be a number below negative 2. So shaded to the left. And this, negative 12, is less than or equal to b. That is the same if you were to rearrange it as b. When you put b on the other side, the sign also needs to follow sort. So if this is wide, then you need to keep the sign on the wide side of b. So this is the same as negative 12 is less than or equal to b. It's just for mathematicians, we're more interested with keeping the letters on the left side because it's easy to interpret how to graph this inequality. b is greater than or equal to negative 12. Well, granted, if you plug in negative 12 on the number line, then all the values should be shaded greater than or equal to negative 12. So you can see the commonality on where the solution lies. So that's why it's better to keep your solution as one single inequality sentence. b is less than or equal to negative 2, and also b is greater than or equal to negative 12. So you'll see the same thing reoccur for question 15. Absolute value of 6 minus 3x is less than 18. Again, when it comes to absolute values, you need to have both sides of the system, the original and the negative side. 6 minus 3x is less than 18. We need to include the negative side, which is negative 18. And then from here, we need to solve for x, meaning x needs to be isolated to be by itself. 6 minus 3x, 6 is positive, so I'm going to do the opposite sign. We're left with negative 3x. 18 minus 6 is 12. And negative 18 minus 6 is negative 24. From here, we're going to divide negative 3 to both sides. And be very careful when you're dividing or multiplying with a negative. Change the sign. X is by itself. 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4. And negative 24 divided by negative 3 is 8. So you can plot each side of the inequality on the number line just to confirm that your answer is accurate. On the right side, say the sentence out loud. X is greater than negative 4. Granted, you plot a point as negative 4, x needs to be greater than negative 4. So it needs to be shaded to the right. Now on the blue box, a is greater than x. If you were to rearrange this, so it's easy for you to know how to graph, place the x first. The sign needs to switch because you place in the x on the other side, so the sign needs to change to the other side. And this, x is less than 8, is the same thing as that. We just place x in the front, so it's easy for you, as a mathematician, to know how to graph this. X is less than 8. Granted, you plot in a point as 8, the number line. All the values should be shaded to the left, because you want x to be less than 8. 7 is less than 8, 6 is less than 8, and so forth. But you have a restriction. All the values should be between negative 4 and 8. So this would be your common solution. 16. See a negative, so I'm going to distribute that to both of the two terms. So be sure to show the arrows. Negative of 9b is 9b, and I can rewrite the left parentheses. By doing so, we can combine like terms. 8 minus 4 is 4b squared, and negative 3 plus 9b is plus 6b. And the same thing can be done with this question. The sign will be distributed to two terms. Negative of negative 4a squared b is positive 4a squared b, and negative of 3ab squared is negative 3ab squared. The fact that I already distributed those two terms, I'm going to rewrite the left side without the parentheses. And by doing so, combine like terms, I see that there's a negative 2a squared b is the same thing as a squared b. Negative 2 plus 4 is 2a squared b, and the 3ab squared is the same thing as negative 3ab squared. Positive 3 minus 3 is 0 ab squared. 0 times anything cancels out, giving you with 2a squared b.